Hey, good morning, y'all. Good morning, all. Time to get the day started. It is hump day. We got less than a minute until the market opens. Until the market opens here. It is 417.35 on SPY. Nasdaq is a little flat, 13.021 after some crazy post-market action. There is the bell. The market is now officially open here, and the first thing I want to look at and show you all is, holy moly, I just put all that liquidity. So all the liquidity on Bookmap for all the pre-market was very much lower. But man, look at that. They just put on a crap ton. 4,200, 4190, 4190, 4227. That's the most liquidity I've seen put on right at open, I think, ever. That's crazy upward nodes right there at 40. Especially, look at that, 4190, 4200, crazy large nodes. So yeah. I'll be looking to see how this market adjusts right at the open. I want to see this thing make some decent moves upwards just to show that it can reclaim something. Otherwise, we're going to be in for another seller's morning coming on down. What do I expect today? Volatility. Look at the VIX. The VIX is still 31.5 or 31.87, going up to 32. I still am expecting some larger choppy, I guess choppy is the right word for it, but very large defined ranges within that chop. We're currently bouncing off S1 now, and NASDAQ is coming up 13.067 after falling 5% in post-market yesterday on the big Google miss. But everything on the watch list pretty much is green at the moment for a couple of big players like Google. Apple, start watching Apple's share price going into tomorrow to see how the market's going to prepare for their earnings. Microsoft is coming off just a touch with the red candle after being up 4%. Amazon is coming down just a touch. Let's take a look at Google. The Tesla is up there as well. Pretty much everything's pretty much the same. Somewhat muted open here on the single candle. No big, huge $3, $4 candles yet. And then Facebook hovering at 175.24. And SPY is 417.63. Crazy stuff. Do I try to hedge against a falling stock pick or just ride it as you believe in the long term? I'm charting. You talking about long term holdings? Is that what you're talking about? Long term? Long-term holdings, I use I play the counter positions in my trading portfolio. So long-term holdings are exactly what they are, long-term holdings. I don't want to touch those. I was going to liquidate. I believe I've missed my opportunity. I mean, I was going to liquidate in May, and obviously this huge, 12% sell-off kind of hit that on the head. So I'm probably just going to maintain positions for now, see how this adjusts. I do think there's going to be some buyer's relief coming up with this much downside in 4 days, but we'll see. You never know. This is a bear market. You get a lot of crazy bull rallies in a bear market situation, and I don't want to go top picking or bottom picking with my long-term portfolio unless I'm going for the overall large move. And this was a very colossal move in the past 4 days. VIX is coming off just a touch. We got a little green off of S1. Not too much movement just yet, relative to what we've been seeing, obviously. That right there is a dollar candle, so that's a decently sized candle off of S1. Nasdaq is coming up from 1306 to 091 after coming down. What was the bottom they hit? 800, 12,800. So almost a 300 point bounce off of that bottom for the Nasdaq. UK is dumping. Let's take a look. UK is dumping just a touch off of 7430. Nasdaq is 418.10. When you say liquidate, do you mean literally go to cash, or do you have moved in bonds? No, I would go to cash. I would be in an uninvested position for my at least maybe 90% cash, but 10% something. But I would look to go into an overall move. Now, with this particular area, like I said, I'm just going to kind of hold on to a little bit with this being this nuts, especially this much downside. Do you trade CCSs and CPSs these days? Yes, I do. Or PCSs. Yep. Uh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, glad you like it. Let me know if you got any more questions. And there is probably some profit taking. That's a huge pop, and people are just probably taking profits off the table, especially in this environment. You don't want to hold too long. And Microsoft being up 4% is quite large. All right, SPY's got a little green off of S1, still holding the first 3-minute candle there, or the 5-minute candle, I'm sorry. That's what the 3-minute looks like. And VIX is still holding 31.36. Yep, yeah, I saw. Boeing is in the toilet. I like it. I'd actually like to see it come down a little more so I could get some sort of a call off of it. But yeah, man, seeing Boeing down in the 150s is crazy. 156, it's nuts. They missed earnings. This is like I think the fourth missed earnings in a row, so they're getting pounded right now in all these conditions. Yeah, look at Boeing, 156.43, and even going lower. It's crazy to see. I never thought I'd see the 150s again on Boeing, but what a smoke show that is. Crazy. All right, VIX is 31.32. SPY is 418.27, and we're just trying to figure it out. Let's take a look at the contracts. Facebook, I like it. All right, I'm gonna go to SPX. Looking at April 27th. We're on to August yet. April 27th contracts on SPX. I'm gonna look at 4210s, 4190s. If you're trading SPY, let's go with 417, 419, 419. Hopefully Elon is buying Boeing. Yeah, switch them to a electric fleet. That'd be awesome. No, go ahead and do it on the first, Mohammed. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah, we're gonna do a blended rollout. So we're gonna roll out the website, and then, you know, it'll be a blended environment where you can still be offering Patreon, but then we're gonna kind of switch everybody over the course of the next couple of days into the website. So, but yeah, go ahead and just let the Patreon re-up, and we'll go from there. Hey, big red candles off of R1. A little bit of rejection. Are electric planes a thing yet? I mean, there are some definitely prototypes, but there's not anywhere in terms of commercialization. They have a long way to go to do that, to make it commercialized. I'm looking at both right now. I would probably expect some sort of rejection off R1. Let's take a look at Bookmap here. 4195, some nodes. 4200, 4201 to be more precise is going to be the larger of it. That's a huge node, 859 right there. And then, man, there's a lot of liquidity above us. No, I'm not. I was, but this move the past 4 days kind of revamped my thesis on liquidation. I mean, right now we're down like 12%. 12%. It's crazy. A plan that successfully ran off cooking oil recently. Dang. Hopefully it was Chick-fil-A's peanut cooking oil, so it smells good. All right, 4202 large level, 4228. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Buy low, sell it. Right now it would be selling at a fear, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, nuclear subs. What happens when you put nuclear reactors or nuclear driven aircraft and they crash? You know, it's a little bit more of a risk. All right, just under R1 here. I'm going to start looking up some speculation puts, 4190 SPX. Next node on Bookmap is way down 4125, and all this stuff is way up above us, which kind of changed the pre-market. Pre-market, they literally flipped us. We had a lot down here, and they flipped us up. So I'm curious to see how this is going to react. Maybe bounce off the 8 if it comes back up. Kind of decision point right here. Watching everything else, let's take a look at XLF. XLF is coming down here after a slight gap up in the pre-market, just kind of fizzling out. XLV selling off there with UNH being red 0.34%. Bonds are flat, not really moving all that much. 10 years are 2.7, so all the bonds are flat. Yields are flat relative to their open. And green right up to R1. Tesla's moving. Let's see what Tesla's doing. Looks like people are buying up Tesla after crazy downside. They're up 4.2% from 877 to 913. Amazon's pretty much flat here. Microsoft is popping up now just after a little bit of red, and Apple's up there as well. So on deck today is going to be Facebook. And where are we going to go with Facebook? Any plays, potential plays, decisions on that? A lot of people are predicting more downside with Facebook. It's like if Google can't hit with their revenue and miss it on YouTube revenues, can Facebook actually hit? Especially with the declining memberships, $10 billion loss in Oculus. Obviously, last earnings was the first time they reported a net loss of members, if I remember right. Might be buying an absurd amount of Boeing for the long term today. I'm trying to get it down to the 140s. I'd like to get it in the 140s. Kramer said Facebook would miss, so I'm buying calls. I remember OM was looking for a bounce yesterday on Tesla. I was looking for a bounce on Tesla yesterday. I was. Unfortunately, didn't take it. Sold my Twitter puts too early, 120% profit. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, so we're kind of muted at the moment, just hovering just under R1, in between S1 and R1. Nope, don't want to do that. Load. Right there. Bouncing off the 8. NASDAQ still going higher. And ES is going higher here as well, 41.96 after bouncing off 41.75. Little 20-point move. Made a lot of my Tesla 900 puts yesterday, but sold too early. Yep. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Kramer yesterday in the rooms. That dude might be very knowledgeable, but he's just emotional. He's very emotional. I think that's his downfall. As he gets very emotional, he's more worried about being right and stuff. All right, look at that. First breach of R1. NASDAQ looking very strong here. R4 is kind of R3 is yesterday's kind of afternoon high zone. And Tesla's still going up. Breaking up through R1 here. Breaking up through R1. Keep in mind the EPS expectations very low on Facebook, assuming 30% decline in EPS, losing Russian market. And here is one thing I wanted to point out as well. And that's a good quote. I'm glad you brought that up because I got something I forgot I meant to bring up. Let me bring this up here in my chart. You're looking at the Google earnings that they missed slightly, and they missed what 0.07% on the revenue, and they sold off that much. So that's really what I want to focus on is that they did miss, but it's not like they got blown out. This could whip right back down. It could. That's why we got to be careful. Big pop here on the NASDAQ coming up, R2. What potential SPY, SPX plays are you looking for right now? I'm going to let this thing shake out here and look for the overall. I mean, there's going to be some big moves, especially the VIX still over 30, although it's coming off just a touch here. We are looking for pre-market highs on SPY, which we are about right there. Google, let's take a look at the top 10 here. Apple is 157.87. Pre-market highs. Everything is coming up and touching pre-market highs. NASDAQ looking a little strong. Amazon's coming up nicely. Google's 23.38 after dropping all the way down to 22.07. So they're trying to break green. A lot of strong green candles here on the tech. SPY going up already to R3. Are people going to put on Facebook for a quick buck? That sounds kind of dumb. No, I don't think it sounds dumb. I mean, it's a great speculation play. Facebook is up to 180 after being a little down. It's making up a little bit of that move. They went down to 173 and now they're 180. But we'll see where they go. I might actually look at taking a Facebook put here. That might actually be a pretty decent play. Nice, Mohammed. Well done. Well done. Let's see. In fact, I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to do exactly that. Let's go to April 29th, 180 puts on Facebook and see if we can come on back down. Popped up to 180 on a little bit of an open there. I love buying some puts on Facebook, that's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, there's definitely high IV. Definitely high IV. All right, SPY is still going up to R3. NASDAQ, a little hovering off there. Let's take an XLF financials. Financials are making a run. Look at that. Banks are making a run here. The bonds are coming off hard. Look at that, 121.70. And yeah, so look at that. Strong action. I have a question regarding to defending a PCS. I have a 40-30, so a 30 wide 40-30 on a monthly PCS on ES. Would writing a CCS in the same expiration be a solid hedge? Yeah, I mean one of the ways to hedge against a PCS is to write a CCS. However, if things, I mean, remember we get crazy rallies in bear markets, and if this continues to if this decides to get a rally on you, 4,400 is not all that far away. It's only 180 points out, which, yeah, only 180 points. But on a 32 VIX environment, if we decide to get some sort of rally where hedges come off or institutions decide to hit this, 4,400 is not that far. So I'd probably pick something a little more safe than a 4,400 CCS. But that's just me. That's just me. I would personally rather hedge with maybe either a PDS or some futures, or even options contracts, maybe some leave options contracts. Man, this thing is absolutely blasting. Went from 416 up to 421.60. It's a good question, though. I like it. That's the stuff I want to talk about. Good stuff. Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick. Apple's climbing up. Microsoft. I really want to pay some attention to Facebook today with their earnings coming out tonight. There could be some potential to make some money there if we can catch a move. Right now, they are hovering out of 180.20, which is where they were right before the market closed yesterday. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. It would. Yeah, I would hate to see that happen, especially in this environment, man. Especially in this environment. Volume low on YouTube. Is that for everybody? Still a little low? Let me know. All right, so SPY's got a little top wick here, R4. I'm going to switch over to the 15. Those that 15-minute candle. Look at that on NASDAQ and look at that on SPY. Still climbing up right to yesterday's chop. VIX is coming off. Let's go to the 30. Haven't formed a full 30-minute candle yet, but that's what it looks like. Top wick red right here. I sound sick? No, little sinuses, but from the springtime, but not sick. Loud and clear. There you go. Took 70% on SPY, done for the day. Nice, Jason. Good stuff, good stuff. And there we go, another candle, right back to 1, 2, 3, 4, R4. What are the other guys doing? Ooh, a little bit of red. Would you recommend moving up the CCS strike to 4,500? I would not personally do a CCS right down here because we're imminent for some sort of, one of those crazy pops or retracements. I would wait a little bit on that. I think. Would you say you had a monthly 4,000 PCS? I think right now you're getting to the point where you might actually start getting some favorable action against you. But once again, the problem with all that and the big asterisk against all this analysis is what happens tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's going to be a huge designator for what we potentially could see a larger move coming. I monitor, but I just don't check it all that much. I always just stick to the NASDAQ and the SPY. All right, there's that first nice little rejection off of R4. Coming off just a touch. Huge run on XLF, looking for an LRS. Yeah, let's come on down. They're on a 20% gain for V. Nice, nice. Well done, Kareem. Tomorrow night is Apple and Amazon. No, my IBKR is working pretty good right now. Apple and Amazon's tomorrow. I'm tempted to start loading some puts up here, man, with Facebook. I think that could play a beautiful play. A beautiful play. Even if we're just playing on the dump into the close, because people want to take risk off. I give Amazon half their business, while I'm giving them the other half. Speaking of Amazon, I just got a new book in the mail. I'm always about self-improvement and reading a new book, and I just bought a new one that I'm very excited about. I'm very excited about it. All right, got a little red here off of R3. It's not a trading book. It's just a self-improvement book. Scalp and SPY and SPX. The Way of the Superior Man. That's what it's called. So far it looks like a pretty promising book. All right, VIX is kind of going green here, up to 30.44. Facebook is now 178. Facebook. Let's take a look at some potential outside the money puts. April 29th puts have IV. Wow, look at that IV, 229%. 160 puts. Facebook. Retracement to 173 even. So 167. We're right in that little demand zone right here. 162 and a half, 163 would be beautiful on that play. Would be beautiful. So we're just kind of fizzling out right here under R4. Now selling calls would be great. Selling calls would be great. Oh, you own it. It's a great book. Nice, nice, good. I'm looking forward to reading it. What do I think about SPX will fall down? Well, let's take a look at the book map here. Let's take a look at the book map. We came up, punched through that one level here at 42.10, came up 42.24, still very much a larger node there. All liquidity is still very much higher, very much higher. Unless we take below S1 next minutes, I'm expecting a green close. Let's see it. Let's see it. Wait, are you a pilot? Yes, yes, I am a pilot. Crazy. Will you please screenshot book map for us? Yes, I will. Right here. Let's look at lower too. I'll look at the same scale and we'll go lower. And this is what we have lower, right there. Let's go make a look at the top 8 here. Apple's holding the highs. Microsoft still creeping up 5.72%. Amazon is trying to put a new low there. Nice. Oh man, I am gonna play some Facebook. I think I'm gonna put on. My gut is telling me to put on some Facebook puts, a little Facebook puts, and I might buy. We'll see. We'll see. I'm exploring my options here, but I'm definitely listing towards the downside on Facebook. But we'll see. When do you start to hedge zero DTE spreads? Man, hedging zero DTE spreads, you got to do it quick. You got to do it quick. Hedging zeros, you got to be, like I said, you got to be on your money. You got to be quick, and you got to do it at the right time because, especially in this environment, VIX being this high, you can make a move very quickly against your position, very quickly. So, for example, if at the open for some reason you put on a CCS and now we are, $4 higher, that CCS is going to be very much down, big time. So. Yeah, Facebook puts are expensive, big time. Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Google ad revenue and YouTube revenue on Google was down. So I don't expect Facebook's revenue to be up on that. I think the best to hedge with futures, right, is you open the spread and put a stop loss in your position 50% of the side of the premium. Yeah, that's a great strategy for sure. The problem is that people don't like to put stops on their futures, and they end up taking a bigger loss on their futures than they would have made on the original credit spread, which is the unfortunate part. Yeah, bag holding futures is a huge downfall of trading futures. You got to be very disciplined. I would probably take multiple strikes. I would play some at the money as well as outside the money put positions. That's kind of what I'm feeling out right now. I'm going through the options chain at the moment. I'm seeing the IV is significantly high, over 200%, which is egregious. Yeah, a PDS would be a fantastic play, which I very well might do. May do. We've got a larger node 4125 on Bookmap. You see it right there. You've got a little node here. This stuff is kind of noise, 4160, 4150. All the big stuff is north of our position, currently north of our position. Looks like we're going to get an LRS. Man, I might put on a put here. Ooh, Microsoft's coming off here. SPX, 4210. Microsoft coming off. Amazon's coming off there. Got to fill. All right. I took this SPX put 4210s right there. And with Microsoft coming off there, we may get a little bit of retracement here. Not looking for much, just a little bit of a pullback. Let's see what we can do here. And let me ping this. 27th, 4210s. Right there. All right. Like I said, I'm not going to stay in this too long here. I'm just looking for a little bit of fall down to the bottom. Puts. Did I put calls? No, puts. My bad. Puts. All right, there's a VWAP stop. I might close half at VWAP here. There's some nice, healthy red action. Coming on down, baby. And ow. Come on, give me a fill. Out. Right there, out of the position. Baby kicks. All right. Beautiful position. Beautiful position. That was a VWAP play. That's all I was looking for. That's all I was looking for, right down to VWAP. %8 on the count. Nice. Nice, Ryan PC. Man, you're killing it lately. Killing it. I took a Facebook put there too, but that happened a little too quick because I had to take the Facebook put, switch over, get in the SPX position. But I'm still holding the Facebook put. What did I even get on that? Let's see. All right, so there's VWAP. First test of VWAP. That's where I was looking to exit the position right there. What is your VWAP period? I just do the basic settings on that, just a basic VWAP. It It took me a while to find a VWAP that I actually liked because they had lines all over it, crap everywhere, standard deviation. I just like the basic VWAP line, and it worked out pretty well. So it took me a while, but this is one. And VWAP we trust. Yeah, buddy. You're welcome, Alex. I had you in my head as I took that position to try to say as quick as possible. All right, we're breaking through VWAP now. I might re-enter. I'm going to move down to the 4190s. I'm sorry, 4190 puts on SPX. No entry. I'm going to bring up the position. Currently trading for $16 a piece. Let's see if we can come on down. Where does VWAP? I'm sorry, Bookmap have it. So I got VWAP on the brain. I love it. I love it, Alex. We got some exciting stuff rolling out. I've been working with Lee on developing the parameters for your small account challenge. So I think it's going to be exciting. I'm excited to do it. Makes me happy. Me too, Mohammed. Me as well. Fading Facebook on the way down. VWAP play, meaning you just waited for it to hit VWAP and sell. Correct. When I see a play like this is textbook. I at least want to consider scaling out, if not exiting the position altogether. There, because of the strong bull action, I just want to go ahead and exit the position. And then I could always re-enter if it breaks past VWAP, because that tells me if we are able to break VWAP with considerable selling volume, then that is an actual sustained sell that probably brings us back down to the day's lows. So I can always re-enter a play here. That's why, in fact, all I can do is just move the strike down, because I did have 42.10s, and now I'm looking at 41.90s. If Facebook earnings misses their earnings, how much do you think it could fall with fear? Oh, man. Well, here's the deal. Last earnings report, they posted a $10 billion loss because of the Oculus, their forte into the VR world. And two, they posted the first net loss of members. So it was the forward-looking guidance that really tanked the Facebook. And they said it could be even worse this quarter. So I could see 140, if 135 if they tank like that, if they post some bad stuff. So I think it's a good risk-reward play. At some point, you got to put on some risk, and I think a good downside position play would work. Liquidity is still very much above us. Still very much at 42.27, still 42.53, still very much above us. You're very welcome, very welcome. Will you hold that Facebook play? Yes, I will hold this Facebook play until I see things go bullish. If things start going crazy, I will hold it. But right now, I've got here. I'll show this to y'all. And just to hold true, I'll anything that I don't do live, I'll screenshot it. That's what I'm looking at right there. The IV on Facebook is insane. It is insane. Will you hold the Facebook play? I already answered that one. Are calls a safer play than puts? I wouldn't say safer, because we do look like we are kind of fading VWAP here. Look at NASDAQ, right, coming on down. Yeah, and that's another side of the coin, Shepard, is that it's all about those expectations. They set the expectations low, so if we beat them, then yeah. It's all about how the market reacts. Did I jump in that previous play because I saw big red? The first thing I saw is Microsoft. So I was clicking through the tech. Apple was still barely green. I saw this candle on Microsoft right here. That is what made me jump into put. Because Microsoft is leading the way. Freaking Microsoft rocketed to the wild blue yonder, 4.33%. Is DIS already at 114? I'll tell you what, man. I'm having fun trading other stuff with y'all, other than SPY. It's been fun. It keeps my mind engaged, looking at other stuff. If SPY is boring, we can look at other stuff. I like it. Microsoft is holding the markets. Yep, I agree. That's why I took that play for sure. Yes, Smoke Fox, like UPS. Yeah, yep, yeah. Had to bring that up, Chris. It's too soon. It's too soon. Man, look at that. Flip that candle. You got the VWAP coming on, touching 8 EMA. Nasdaq is still very much red, and VIX is popping back up. Top wick red off VWAP. I've still got the 4190s up. They're currently trading for 1790 each. No position other than Facebook. Still holding. Try to go for an LRS, putting the wick down, but it's too fast. I feel ya. Yeah, Boeing's down. It's dropping, man. It's dropping. It's going to be interesting, man. Obviously, I've been very vocal about my bullishness with Boeing. It would be very interesting to see Boeing drop and see how the government responds all the way down. Look at that big move off of now coming through VWAP. Man, that would have been a nice hold. Always. Now trading for 30 bucks. All right, SPX is 41.95. I'm going to move down to the 41.80s. What a move on that. Nice, 38%. Nice, Ocean. Well done. Man, I might close out these Facebook puts soon. It's crazy. All right, coming down to S1. Any chance we get another huge move and continue to fall without much selling pressure? I think there is a good chance we have it continue to fall. We still have a very volatile week ahead of us, people. Very volatile week. It is. It is hard to play, Mohammed. That's why I'm not looking to play every move. I just want to get me one good move in and then start to pick apart the market everywhere else. So I'm not looking to play every single move. I want to play something that's high confidence. Uh, to me, these are my favorite plays, not because it's a reversal, but because I caught it using market awareness. That play was purely because I was monitoring tech sectors and seeing which one was dipping, and I happened to catch it. Um, those are my favorite type of plays because it takes work. Nice, Superfly up 6%. What'd you take? What position you take to get 6%? I love it. I actually played the green bounce off of R1. Nice. Well done. All right, NASDAQ back down to session lows here, just above it. And SPY is off of S1. Can't quite get there, which is, what, 4 and 6, just about pre-market. Almost a pre-market. I miss plays like that because I'm trying not to trade counter trend. That's a good point. Yeah. I'm up 30% on Facebook. Tempt to go ahead and take it. You and me both, Sasquatch. But I think, this is one of those things. It very well could be, a big move post-market. It's going to be a little bit of a gamble for sure. New subscriber here. Have you been making money in this red market? You talking about this past week or this past year? Yes to both. No, I'm up a little more than 123% on my portfolio year to date. That's kind of why we're going to start building into this small account challenge because I want to really start focusing on showing you how to do such. 11:55, W Dog. 11:55. Three for three today, up 3%. Going to focus a bit more on work and save some BP. Nice. Scapi. I think it's a great point. Look at this, man. Straight on back down, S1. I kind of feel bummed for only having 34%. It's kind of like my Apple play. I had like 55%. They went up to 500%. Crazy. Man, look at Amazon. getting smoked. Smoke. All right. Now, this is where we want to start identifying where this thing's going to go. We have a big green, big red matched it. I think, yep, so we just popped new lows. And the session lows, not looking good. Not looking good. Still holding Facebook. Not holding anything else at the moment. Except my hat in my hand from that stupid closing up my SPX too early. You think so, John? Let's take a look at the book map. Let's see where the liquidity is. Everything is still very much above us. This is computer selling. Look at that. You remember how to identify that? Where it's just similar size candles, very little wick, just down, 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 down. Look at that. It's like a machine gun. Pop, 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 pop. 10.46% on SPX. Well done. Well done. Apple coming down. Microsoft down 3 points, or up only to 3.6. Amazon, man, is getting smoked. Right back down to post-market lows. Google is kind of hanging on barely. Yep, patience it's all about, and that is what I really want to show you. And that's going to be crucial in the small account challenge, is teaching you patience. Where you do, I know everyone wants to take a $10,000 account and get it to the PDT as fast as possible, but nice and slow and steady wins the race. 1-2 trades a day. My best trading back in the day before we started this server is I would put on a trade, take my profit, and I would literally leave. Like, I'm done for the day. Because when you sit there and try to scalp everything all the time, you get worn out and you start giving back profits. Look at this. Look at this downside. Man. Those puts are now at $44. Oh, that's hard to see. $48, $45. R4 bounced almost off of it, man, to the cent and still coming down. What a crazy move. 422 to 4. That's a 7. I told you, man, freaking volatile market. Such a volatile market. Now SPY is now down red for the day. It's now red for the day. Crazy. Facebook is still dropping. Got a little bit, almost down to pre-market. Amazon is getting absolutely smoked. What did I say this morning? That I wanted to look at Amazon and Facebook and Apple to see how the market was going to start pricing in their thesis on the earnings. And I think we have our answer. First little green candle since that first reversal, and down we're on S2. In your opinion, are we officially in a bear market? Yes. I know the S&P is not exactly there, 20%, but yes, I do think we're in a bear market. The price action is just way too telling. This is not bull market action. If this ain't a bear market, it sure as crap ain't a bull market. It's just you don't get these type of moves in a bull market. Everything you're seeing here is indicative of bear market rallies, sell-offs, very heavy price action. But you know, I don't want to get hung up on bear, bull, all that stuff. It's volatile. I'll keep it that way. It's extremely volatile. Because when you think bear market, you put yourself in this long-term bias of looking for downside, and I don't want you to do that. I want to think more about volatile market than bull bear. In a bull market, you can hold stuff in multi-day, like 3, 4, 5 days. In a bear market, you cannot do that unless it's long-term stuff. leaps and stuff like that. Because the market can be up 100 points, down 75, up 75, down 200. So any long-term holding for like a week is going to get smoked. So I would play quick positions, scalp it, maybe some longer day trades like this Facebook right here if you can catch a move and hold on to it, and that's about it. So the Facebook, I did 29th. So yeah, I did the closest strike they had, which is 29th. I personally do love this market, Lazy. I love this market. This is a scalper's paradise because if you can catch a move at the right time, you can get 30% in seconds. 92% on puts, nice. Recession on the horizon. I think it's pretty inevitable that we have some sort of economic recession. But I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but what do we have to pull us out of that? I mean, let's just look at it. So 7%, 14%, 30% on SPY, all based on market awareness. Awesome stuff. Love to see it. Love to see it. Double my account this last month and a half. Man, that's awesome. Was that all in here in the server? Amazing. Awesome stuff. And here's the thing. Look at this little green here. Stop blabbing my gums for a second, see if I'm going to trade. A little late to the show. Nope. I'm currently holding Facebook puts, and that's it. I closed out some SPX puts earlier for 34%? 33%. They went up to almost $50. I started small, but so jacked up. Nice, yeah. That's awesome, man. Do I trade all day until I reach a goal? I trade until the price action tells me not to trade anymore. If I find myself having to like force plays and I don't really see much, then that's it. I'm perfectly fine. That's what differentiates me to other people. Like I am perfectly fine not going 2-3 days without trading. Perfectly fine. I got other stuff to do. And that's really what I want to impart on you all is managing not the technical side because anyone can do that. It's managing your emotions, managing who you are, how you trade, your mentality, and not just the emotional side of what happens when you lose, but managing this as a business. Like your trading, your broker, that should be your business, and your money, your dollars, are your workers. And how are you going to put them to work efficiently as possible? Like high probable setups. You don't have to trade every move. You don't have to trade every day. You don't have to trade 3-4 times a day. You don't have to use 100% of your buying power every day. Just, take whatever. And if you could be profitable like that day after day, nice small gains, you will be shocked on how far you can grow your account. Am I currently considering leaps? Not at the moment. All right, here's an LRS, baby. Boeing is 148. No way. No way. Don't lie to me. Wow. Wow. Boeing is 148. Look at that move, people. I said I was going to be long in the mid 140s. Guess what? I'm not going long. Not yet. I take that back. Whatever happened to the Malaysian flight, who knows? Who knows, man? Black hole. Who knows? Wormhole. Oh, cool. There's a new icon that says I'm new. Hey, what's up? LRS is just a slang term we made up called the Lee Rat Special because the Lee Rat's one of our moderators, and he started playing a lot of bounces off the 8 EMA. So every time you see a price like right here bounce off the 8 or reject off the 8, we call it a LRS, a Lee Rat Special. Thoughts on a TLT long position? I wanted to go long at 119 and I missed my entry. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like to think we are winners. So I appreciate that. Appreciate that. When Boeing finds a bottom, I'll buy Leaps. Yeah. Man, this week has been incredibly tumultuous. I hope you all can appreciate this week because I've been waiting for this week for a long time. All the big tech earnings reports. Are there even any other major aircraft public stocks? Yeah. Lockheed. They're another one. If you're talking about airlines, you got American Airlines, you got Southwest Airlines, Airbus. And one of the reasons I'm so incredibly, like people, obviously I'm adjusting, but I'm bullish on Boeing long term is because I've seen, like I was in government contracting and then I was in, obviously now I'm a pilot. So in the world of aviation that I'm in deals heavily with Boeing in all aspects, from munitions to ordnance to the actual aircraft. I mean, all this stuff is Boeing related. So I see their contracts. I see what they're doing in the future. I've dealt with contracts in the past. I've seen the amount that they've done, like all that stuff. And the government bails out their own. So, yeah, I've watched it. I watched it. That's why I shorted Netflix. Thoughts on selling covered calls? I think it's good if you've got those, if you've got the capital behind it to back it up. Absolutely. I play these price movements. Yeah, nice, nice lady, awesome. And then of course we got next week, which is what Thursday is the FOMC, another event after this week. Let's take a look at the book map. Not much until either 41.25 or 42.30. I'm currently government contracting now. Didn't know you were too. Nope. Yeah, I was before. I was a contracting specialist before I put in my pilot application, became a pilot. And here's some. Sorry, I'm reading your conversation, Doctor, in the Trading Loss Help. And here's something I want to roll out to you. I took a UPS straddle yesterday morning, as everyone knows, and I lost approximately 48% on that position. At any point, did anyone hear me freak out or jump up and down and say my account's blown up? I can't take this big of a loss. No, it's small potatoes because I position myself appropriately. I always tell myself every time I go to hit the buy button, not once do I think there's no way I can lose. Guaranteed. Every single time I hit the buy button, I think to myself, I look at that little dollar amount that's about to be invested. If this were to go to zero and lose every bit of that, how would it affect me? How would it affect my account? And if that is just too much to bear, I don't make the trade. Every single time you need to make a trade, you need to be aware of the consequences of a loss. Mitigate your risk, account for risk. If you're not accounting for risk when you take a position, then that's not trading. You're gambling. Then why are you so upset? All right. Coming down, testing S2 again. Right back down. And did we just pop lows? Yes, we did. Look at that. That's an LRS if I've ever seen it. NASDAQ. As VIX's new highs, NASDAQ caught a popping new lows here. Exactly, CSM. Every time I hit the buy button, I ask myself, where's my thesis wrong? And where do we need to exit? Beautiful. No, I believe it. I believe it, Mohammed. W Dog got out for 7%. Now it's up like 50%. Yeah. ES is now 41.64, off from 40. What do we hit? 42.20 today. 40 looks like 41.60 ES, and the lowest is 41.25. Let's take a look at the top 8 here. Facebook's still holding 175.68. UNH going lower. So XLV is going lower. The UNH, the biggest holding of both the Dow and the XLV, is UNH, United Healthcare Group Incorporated. Very large holding. They're down 0.5. XLV, correspondingly, is down 0.57. They just popped new lows. XLF, the financial sector's coming lower. New lows there, going back to. Wow. Man, this is getting sketch. This is getting sketch. July 21st, XLF lows. Financial sector's getting beat down. VIX is now popping 32.76. SPY is breaking down even more. Yep, S3 is strongest support. In fact, I need to put this back in. There we go. Below S3, it gets spicy. It gets spicy, y'all. If we go through S3, I think ES will visit 41.30. And after that, who knows, man? I mean, this is just a seller's market, dude. Seller's market. Position yourself on the right side and get out of the way. If we bounce, then go back. But that, put yourself on the right side and go down. This community has been so medicinal to my trading. Good, good. Medicinal or beneficial, either one. Appreciate that, Jonathan. Everything is definitely pointing down. Play the trend until we get the confirmation move back up. Or if we don't get it all, just keep playing the trend down. But this, very crucial, very heavy. VIX is up 32.40 or 74. Watch for 33.77. Took 13% on the LRS move down. Nice profits, Reaver. Good stuff. Now, everyone, this is the conversation. Let's have this real-time discussion here. Everyone says at the end of the day, when, if SPY hits 410, we're now at 415, and everyone's like, hey, I sat there and watched this thing go down all day. I didn't take a put. Well, why? What's going through your head right now to keep you from taking a put? I think it's going to go back up. The second I enter a put, it's going to jump back up. Potentially. So, let's look for a potential entry for some more downside. Play a put together. Put on a stop. If you get stopped out, who cares? Just put on a stop and look and play the trend down. Yeah, PDT, obviously, that's definitely a variable. Me personally, I think that if you are under 25, you need to have a cash account. One of the biggest problems of account growth is that you want to get in a margin account so you can play futures. And I get it. You want to play spreads. I get it. But I think that's handcuffing you because you can't grow your account. when you got 5 grand and you can't trade hardly anything because you're under PDT. Whereas if you have a cash account, you could trade your heart desires as long as you're doing proper account size or proper position sizes. I think the benefits outweigh the benefits of a cash account outweigh the cons of a cash account by not being able to play futures and spreads. European here, no PDT. Nice. Made another 330%. Nice, Jonathan. Killing it. Yep, that's a different thing as well. Yeah, if you're, if you've got a job that requires you to be away from the computer, I can get it. That's your option, and that's perfectly fine. You have a reason why. Different situations for sure. All right, so we got a little red. Bookmap is telling us here there's not any liquidity right here. It's either 42.30 or 41.53. Little top wick. Let's look at here. What's going on? Microsoft is kind of creeping back. Apple's got a little bottom. XLF is still bouncing off that level. Right there. Little B stepped away. He had issues with his job. His job laid off a bunch of people, and he had to pick up a lot of slack. So he left to do that, and he's welcome back anytime. And yeah, Cody's still here. I think he kind of stepped away from play calling because it was very volatile to trade spreads in this market, which I don't blame him. All right, big green here, coming up to S1. And that's a move from 415. Nice little strong move here. Potentially can come back up. I'm seeing not really much resistance here to come back all the way back up. And that's a strong move. That's a $2 move right there. Dang. So we got a little top wick right up to VWAP. R1, significant level. Yeah, I still am retirement. Still am. Think it would open the call side and make it entire and butterfly. I like it. So it looks like we're going to make a move to VWAP here. Just chopping around. VIX is retreating back. Let's see where we're going to go. Going on, next catalyst is the European close, 10:30 Eastern Central, 11:30 Eastern. When did I get the aha moment? I got the aha moment about about 2 years in. I got profitable and like really confident about 3 years in. Consistent. And the aha moment was all about position sizing. My trading completely changed when I went position size. I went from literally hitting the reset button, hitting the reset button, hitting the reset button, and then I figured out that it's all about position sizing. It doesn't matter how good you are, how profitable, how consistent. It does not matter. It's the second you overexpose yourself, you hit the reset button. One single play, hit the reset button. So once I realized that, literally, my equity curve went from flat to up without changing anything else because I was already a pretty good trader. You know, I do my research. I'm disciplined more than most. But once I realized that you reduce your position size, and my equity curve went up. It pointed upwards. And I promise you it will do for you too. It's not as fun, I'm going to tell you, because you take a big win, a nice 60% win, and you think, man, if I would have done 50% of my account, I'd be up huge instead of just a little bit. But if you do that over and over and over and over again, your equity curve will go up. Oh, of course I was. Yeah, I lost 56 grand. I mean, I blew up my account. So definitely. I mean, I'm not a prodigy. It's like I didn't go from just jump in and profitable, 1,000,000% gains. Um, I had to learn. Oh, you're very welcome, Roscoe. Very welcome. All right, we're holding just under VWAP here. All it takes is one bad day. Not even a bad day. It takes one trade. Look at this green candle coming all the way back up. All right, looks like we may actually get a decent bounce here. There's VWAP. Yep, you're right, Alex. You're right. Let's come over here. First rejection off VWAP. If we get a reclamation back up to VWAP here, I'll look at taking a call. But there's that first test. Yep, that was well before Mrs. OM. Yep, I was a single man back then. Single man. No. Yeah, y'all haven't heard that story? Oh, he's new. He's got the little new icon. That's apparently something new that Discord does. They put that little clover leaf for the new people. So welcome. Yeah, I lost 56 grand in 48 hours. I haven't told that story in a while. Before I was a pilot. Yeah. Gather around, kids. Let's have a little talk. I really struggle with exiting profitably. Let's say 10% or more. With the price segment looks like will continue in my favor. Then a big move against me cost me big time. Besides just to do it, man, it's that part is having experience in knowing what your system is to tell you when and then to exit. What I don't want to do is exit just because I see a green number. Just because I see 10%, I take it. I don't want to exit just because of my P&L. Now, if you get a big move and you see, hey man, I'm up 30%, no matter what, like that's sufficient, then cool, whatever. But if you're struggling to get it past like the 5, 6, 10% mark, don't exit just because. Now, I'm all about taking profits, trust me. But you need to have a thesis from a technical standpoint as to why you want to exit your position. All right, so we got some more green. Here's another test of VWAP. I'm going to bring up 4210 calls on SPX, just in case we breach and go higher. I turned 100K into 750. Look at this. Now another breach. Looks like we're going back up. I turned 100 into 750, then to 10K with GME contracts. Wow. Wow. John's getting his range day. Yeah, he is. Good morning. What's up, Andre? Oh, let's get it back. Yeah, correct. There's no trend, obvious trend right now. We're just oscillating around into this right around the open. Right back to R1, rejection of R1, significant level. Holy shnikes. How's the book map looking? There's nothing here. Nothing until 42.28. I lost 80K in 4 months, finally learned to properly trade with position sizes. Nicely done. Nicely done. I'm telling you, sometimes it's like it's birth by fire. Is you have to die first in order to be reborn. And learn how to do this. At what point would I cut Facebook? Above here. I'll probably look at cutting and then re-entering if it goes back up. Did you say I lost 56K in 48 hours? I did. And that's not even the impressive part because people lose that much all the time. But it was on a $58,000 account. So that's what makes it destructive. On a $58,000 account, I lost $56,000 in 48 hours. That's right. Yeah, that's right, Jonathan. Yeah. I do. I use E-Trade for SPX options, correct. Now I trade options on IBCAR as well, but that's for the longer term stuff, weekly plays, stuff like that. All right, so here's an R1 rejection. Can't quite make it through there. I'm going to take a look at the other big dogs. Apple's making a nice move up here. So is Microsoft. So is Amazon with the little red. Google, Tesla. Everyone's pretty much, all the big dogs are making a move up. Nasdaq's going to green. Was that with options? I used margin. I did 100% account size using margin, so I had over $100,000 position size on a biotech stock on a $58,000 account. Literally, I over-leveraged myself with a capital O, and I woke up to it gone. I bought a biotech stock that had a phase 3 clinical trial drug being released, and it was supposed to be the next, as a cancer-related drug, it's supposed to be one of the next big cancer drugs. And it was all this positive news, and it's going to triple overnight. And so I made a play on it because they're about to do the phase 3 announcement. I think the PDUFA, I think it was called, it's been a long time since I traded. the biotechs. And I woke up and it was to a Seeking Alpha notification. And they said, clinical trial, like it said, the FDA rejects the phase 3 clinical trial study due to feasibility concerns. And over the next 2 days, I got margin called. The stock tanked like 48% or something like that, and I lost every bit. I had to pay back the margin in addition to my own personal stocks. All right, so we still can't break through R1 here. Oh, trust me, it was a very anxious day. I was a young 20-something-year-old. I was able to put some scratch together, get my account up to 58 grand. I thought I was Mr. Trader, and it was gone. You're the only trader I've met that does Bible reading to start the day. Yep. Although, a confession, I didn't do my Bible reading today. But yes, it is a very big part of my daily routine. Very expensive. Very expensive market tuition, yes. Very expensive. So far, range. That's all I know. Did you consider selling your plane on the black market to cover your margin call? Yeah, that'd be nice. Nice, Franklin. Awesome stuff. Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be straight with you all the time. I'll be straight with you all the time. I've made stupid mistakes. I still lose. Just like y'all, and it's just my. And I don't even claim to be smarter than anybody else. Because there's some of y'all that, from an informational standpoint, know more than me. But what separates me from the other traders and what makes me be consistent quarter after quarter, it doesn't matter the market conditions, is that I'm very disciplined about my system. I am terrified of taking another 98% loss. That day will forever stick with me because I told myself I will never let the market do that to me again. I remember that completely deflated feeling, that defeated feeling. I do, yes, Dalton. I play both of them. That's right. Yeah. Every time you get anxious, every time there's a big passage, and I don't want to get too religious because, um, obviously people have different beliefs, but there's a big passage that sticks with me, and it talks about how, God always provides for the birds, and yet the birds don't worry. The birds don't have jobs, the birds don't have money, and yet they always provide food, shelter. That's the same thing with me. It's like no matter what. That's why I don't put too much emotion into the market. I just do my job. I trade. I'd be the best person I could be. I'd be the best trader I can be because I'm always going to come out on top because of the lessons that I learned. All right, so there was a rejection off of 418.95. Exactly. There you go. I love it. I love it. How do you overcome the fear of losing again? Sounds like a very traumatic event. You have to put in processes. You have to put in process. Hey, thanks, Greg. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat and for the support of the community. Yeah, you have to put in processes. You've got to lay down rules. Literally, forget about typing up rules. Like, take a piece of paper, write down your rules. The non-negotiable rules to hold yourself accountable, and put it right in front of your face. I will not take a 30% loss or more. I will not take calls on a trend down day. I will not take puts on a trend up day. The second you identify a trend day, stop freaking out. Why is the market doing this? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, we're so freaking bearish and yet the market's going up, all that stuff. Stop and just just play the trend. Whatever the rules are. Anyway, I'm just throwing out stuff out there. All right, so we got a red action here through VWAP again. I'm going to be releasing those soon. I think it's a great thing. Kind of like a Ten Commandments type thing of all of our community. Nice, Andre. I love it. How did you come up with your sport and resistance levels? They're perfect. Everything that I calculate. I'm looking at it from price action. Price action is king. If I had to put one big ingredient in that chili of the SR levels, it's price action. The price action is all like, if there was one thing, if you were on a deserted island with a computer that only allowed you one indicator to trade off of, it would be my SR levels for me, because it takes in price action. It's about the price action. Everything else is supportive of price action. Price action that we see, the candles, are a visual representation of stats, of the price action itself, which tells you what it want to do. It's kind of like when the doctor needs to figure out what's going on with a patient. They draw the blood. What's going on? Do you have high cholesterol? Do you have drugs? Do you have this? Do you have low iron? Do you have, a white blood cell count? All that stuff. They do all this analysis on the blood. That's what the price action is. And before you can do anything else, you have to know what's going on with the price action. Before you can make a diagnosis, you have to know how to read the price action. So, I'm the first big thing is price action. After that, it's going to be volume. Where does the volume come in and enter and exit the market at particular levels through the volume profile? And then I'm going to start looking at the actual order book. I'm going to look at order flow, block orders. I'm going to look at the options chain. Where do we have unusual orders in? And go from there. Then I'll bring in Bookmap. Then I'll bring in SpotGame. After I do all that, I'll bring in all these different tools to solidify. I'll look at that and solidify. All right, so we're breaking through the 8 here. We're breaking through the VWAP. VWAP, let's see. NASDAQ looks like it wants to kind of come back down here. Tesla looks like all the tech is coming down. XLF, possibly. I'm going to put a little order alert right there. I'm going to put alert right here. Nice little downward action here. How far do you go back for price action? I mean, I go back to the weekly chart, which is the 5-year chart. I mean, I go as far back as I need to, because you want to identify time frame continuity. Time frame continuity is your best friend. If you can find a trend that is continuous across all of the time frames, 5-year, 1 year, the weekly, the daily, the minute charts, the 35, all that stuff, then you can get a high confidence level to throw it down on. And that's how I get those strength levels. Those strength levels are based on time frame continuity. Is there any reason I stick to the 3-minute chart? I trade off the 3-minute because it's a good balance of trend with immediate price action. 1 and 2 minute to me is a little too fast. 3-minute kind of cuts out the little noise of the fluctuating minute candle, while still building in some kind of trend. 3 minutes of trend, and then of course I'll go to the 5 and the 15 and the 30 to really figure out what's going on. Which, by the way, let's do that. Let's go to the 30. On a daily chart, on the intraday chart, the 30 minutes is my favorite. It brings in 30-minute candles. We're now on the 3rd candle. We're about to close this candle and start a new one. And that's what we got. Top wick, top wick, top wick, downward trend. So this is a lot different looking than this, isn't it? This looks like oscillating around the 30-minute. Tells me a different story. Top wick city with a downward trending action. So then I'm going to go to the 60. Look at that. That's a different story altogether. This is an indecisive candle because this is an hour of trading. We're now an hour and a half into the market. XLF is still coming down here. That was the alert for XLF. Falling. So NASDAQ's coming down just a touch, and we're hovering right under R1. Every time I hear that alarm, I think I need a battery in my smoke detector. Yeah. All right, big green, right up to R1. You have a lot of great videos. To those who are never in the group, I spent the weekend reviewing quite a few and then want to calculate. Oh, nice. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. Man, big green candles. Look at that. Now we're moving. Now we're moving. Now that is a move. Looking at calls. That is a move. So XLF is moving up. That's a big buying action here coming up. It looks like they're going to bring us to 42.28. Wow. All right, so we popped through R1. Now we're climbing back up. NASDAQ looking very strong. It looks like we're going to climb to the top. I'm watching the liquidity on Bookmap. Yeah, tremendous day for an Iron Condor for sure. Faux show, faux show. I mean that candle right there is higher than any candle we've had since what 9:30 my time, 10:30 Central Eastern time. It all depends on how this set reacts right here. It is nutty. Look at that. They're bringing it. There's another red. Setting a stop loss or a rule to exit price action to go in against me seems fairly easy. What I struggle with is putting rules in place to exit when price action appears to be going with my position. Any thoughts on how I can fix that? Trailing stops are your best friend. Man, look at that. They're reversing it. Trailing stops are your best friend. Obviously, you want to be more in tune with your system to identify that because you're not going to be able to do that every time. Like I said, if you go back, and I haven't even talked about this in a while, but when I go back and analyze, look at this candle. Wow. When I go back and analyze my trades, there are 4 trades, 4 categories in which I want to put my trades. The first one is big wins, of which I want 1 to 2 a quarter, 1 to 2 a month, 1 to 2 big trades. And you could define big however you want, giggity. The second one is lots and lots of small wins, 5, 10, 15, 20%. The third one is few losses. I want a few losses, small losses, because you're going to take losses, and the whole point of that category is to emphasize keeping them small losses. And then the fourth is big losses, of which I want none, no big losses. And you can either identify that as a dollar amount or a percentage amount, depends on you. So, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because the big win category, I know everyone always wants that big win. They always want to put on a trade that goes in the direction of a trend and hold it all day. And that's great. You're not going to be able to do that. That's the bottom line. You're not going to be able to do that often because there's too many variables. It's rare to be able to catch a trend at the right time and let it roll the entire day because there's too many variables. And it's unrealistic for you able to fight all those variables, including your emotions, to hold the trend the entire day. You could do it once in a while, but that's all you need to do it. So your goal is to have a nice peanut butter spread, smooth equity curve, and then every once in a while you throw in a big win, and you get those little pops in your equity curve. Nice and even, big pop, nice even grade upward, big pop. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for huge moves in your equity curve, because with the big moves up, you're going to have big moves down. Man, look at this reversal only. It's about to pop that low. That is a very, very bearish candle. If that engulfs and comes down, that's a bearish candle. Yeah, they did. Wow. All right, so in terms of book map, we're in no man's land. There's nothing here. It's either 42.27 or 41.25. I mean, we're kind of in no man's land here. Figuring out where we want to go. Risky trade. It's a risky to trade right here. If you're going to put on some risk, then scalp it. In and out quick. What's up, Jonathan? Oh yeah, let's do some trend lines. I don't think we're going to get much trend. It looks more of just a chop, but let's take a look. I think it's not going to surprise anybody what we're about to draw. I guess it would be technically this here. Yep. So that is the session channel right there. Definitely oscillating, and depending on what we do here, if we reject and come down, we'll be in this downward channel, but let's see how we identify here. I'm going to zoom out to this. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Man, what a trade. What a... All right, so here's the daily candle. Very much broke out the prior lows. We already knew that. And we've got that indecisive candle right there. Let's see where it comes out right here. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. 5 for 8 cash account, up 3% on the day. Awesome stuff. Can I suggest some Boeing leaps? Let's take a look. Boeing is starting to get a little bounce. Starting to get a little bounce. I mean, here's the deal. When you start doing this kind of stuff, we're very much in a downward trend. I mean, if you look at Boeing, and you start plotting these lines, every one of these trend lines, in fact, it starts getting even more. It starts looking like this downward fan. You don't know, I mean, even this thing has dropped so far, you can't even plot a trend line. I mean, you got these trends that's trending down. We've got key support right in this area. But when you get this kind of action, what support does it actually start to bounce? If I was to do a leap on this, I would look at June to July, because that's summertime. That's travel season. That's when the airlines and Boeing starts doing pretty well. We start reporting good earnings. I mean, look at this. This was January, and then coming into June, right here, we had this run up. This is late August, but once again, this is different market conditions. This is 350. Let's see what happened back in here. May ran up into June and then sold off into July. So I think it would be a good play to go June, July, but we'll see. Man, look at that. Took out lows. Look at that. But the one thing I'm excited about this small account challenge, is the fact that I can show you all that it's not sexy. It's not fun. It's grinding the axe. Every day you come in, you put on a couple of trades, you get 10, 15% a piece. And then the next day you do the same. The next day you do the same. And then eventually you could post, hey, I'm up 100% or whatever it is. If you're having a lot of fun trading, then you're probably taking too much risk. That's the unfortunate part about it. Do you prefer to use the Discord or YouTube on days when you're live? I monitor both. It doesn't matter. I could do the YouTube or the Discord. I'm a little slower with the YouTube because it's a different app that I have to bring up, but I can answer both. All right, so that red candle bought up just a touch. What is that? Poor signal means delays. Leave the woodland. I've got good internet. I've never seen that before. All right, so we're still hovering around R1 significant level, creeping on down here, creeping on down. Nice credit spread, Mike. Can we get a fill down here? VIX is still choppy sideways, 31. We've got 18 minutes until UK closes. And where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? How much capital? I think I'm going to start with 10. I think I'm going to start with 10K. I'm not going to do futures just because I want to be able to do a cash account and show you all how to operate a cash account. I think a lot of emphasis has been put on futures the past couple of months, weeks, and I think we need to back off of it just a touch because it's very easy to start blowing up accounts. And I want to focus more on the beginning investor who does not need to be doing futures and focus on the simple stuff. Get back to the basics, the fundamentals. Practice. I'm talking about practice. And go from there. The reason why I'm kind of choosing 10K is because I want to toe that line between people who've got, 20 and 30 and people who've got 1,000. I can kind of show you all how to operate both sides of that coin. All right, big green after that big red. For this particular challenge, yeah, I'm not going to do any theta trades. Wow, look at that green candle. And the reason why, with a 10K account, it's so very difficult to put on credit spreads and then be able to defend those when things go wrong. Because in my opinion, hedging and defense is just as important as the actual credit spread. Because you're not always going to get what you want. The price action is going to go against you in a big way, and you're not going to be able to defend those positions. It's hard. So right back to R1, a nice little red candle, 418.88 to 417.80, and then $1 right back up, and they're kind of wicking here. Let's see where we're going to take this thing. Right now, a little too choppy to trade. I'm not interested in chopping these, scalping these candles. I want to get another move down or another move up, either one. But here's the thing: it's not necessarily the small account challenge isn't necessarily going to be about the dollar amount. It's going to be about the rules that I'm going to attach to that account that I want you all to follow along with. Yeah, I have. We'll roll that stuff out here shortly. But yeah, I'm basically gonna put a max limit on a percentage position size. God, look at this candle coming right back up. Nasdaq's popping, new highs, SPY's going up through R1. Wow. That's a $2 candle right there. Volatile. Volatile. But if you notice that blue line that's on there, that's still that's that trend that we were talking about to see how it's going to operate when it come back up. And here we are, another touching it again. And are we going to breach it? I don't have high confidence in this trend channel yet until we get a respect of it, because it's only touched it once, which doesn't really mean much. So, what happened to these things? I don't know what happened to these. There we go. So they just put a big ol' order there at 42.05. Big ol' order. Let's see if that's spoofing. And they're doubled down on it too. Look at that. That thing went up in a hurry. Someone just put a big ol' order at 42.05. Let's watch it. See if it comes off or stays. Look at that. Top wick. Yes. Smux box. Yep. All right, so that candle flipped red on the NASDAQ and still barely holding green on SPY. That level still holding on the book map. VIX is still holding 31.55. Trying to figure out where we're going to go. We've got 13 minutes. Man, I feel like time's creeping. 13 minutes. Does that mean when we hit 42.05 a bunch of sell orders get triggered? Not necessarily. That's just a level that I want to be aware of. I don't like to look at these as rejection or support levels. I want to look at these as kind of significant areas where I think the market is going to operate around. All right, still holding 42.05. We're still holding right here at R1. Significant level, and still off this top trend. The VIX is starting to come off here. Okay. I'm going to bring up 42.10s just in case we blast here. And then if not, I'll go down with puts. But this is getting stronger. Right now, no, there's no real high confidence plays. This is just very, very choppy in a $2 range. So you got to be quick. If you're wrong, you could be down, especially if you're playing zeros or ones, you could be down 20, 30% in a second with these candles. So at that move. All right, so we came up, touched just under 42.02. A little bit of red still holding strong here at R1. Oh, it's bottom wicks and top wicks. It's crazy. There's book map right there. Yeah, there's about a 3 or 4 second delay on YouTube. Yeah, we'll bring in some movement. I just don't know where. Right now, it's 9 minutes. Dead flat so far on this chop. Right to R1. I've got 40. I'm going to do 42.10s calls just in case we go up. Wick City. Here's the UK market. Germans, this is the Asian market here. They're closed right now. UK's there. German market's there. They're chopping too. PayPal is to shut down their San Francisco office. Wow. Big green. All right, so NASDAQ to the top of theirs. One more touch. My levels are gone again. Why do they keep coming off? No, not that one. But look at this order. I'm watching this order here to see if it's going to come off. It looks like to me it's wanting to blast. It keeps getting those strong upfills. Strong upfills there. I'm watching this closely here. Where does it want to go? Looks like it's going to trickle higher. Hard to trade it at the moment, so no high confidence plays. I'm just watching here, seeing if I can get a breakout or breakdown. This looks like they're going to pin this here, eat through that order, and then crank it. That's what this is looking like. Right now, we're just pinning here. This red candle still can't hold anything. We're just kind of grinding higher and higher and higher right up against this, and they'll remove that liquidity up. That's what it's looking like here. When they pin it up here and they don't move it, they're just going to sit right here and then go right through that order. Now, if I can get some candles down and oscillating, that's different. But if this is sticking right here, kind of this little creep, and then plah. Me too, Zerzo. Me too. Europe closes in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. There it is. Boom. Order's gone on Bookmap. UK's not moving. Wow. So he popped it. They locked it. Now will they drop it? All right. Still holding. All that liquidity at 42.05 is now gone. They hit it. Kind of trickling. So Apple's trickling up there. There's Microsoft. Amazon's rounding over just a touch. A lot of choppiness across the board. Nvidia's there. Tesla's kind of trickling up. What's Facebook doing? They're trickling sideways. SPY right there. NASDAQ. Ramesh. Oh, nice. Sold my SPX calls. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Thanks for the super chat as well. Thanks for hanging out, supporting the community. I'm glad you're liking the content. Good stuff. Two minutes. Where are we going? Where are we going? Top wick city. Look at all these top wicks on the 3 minute. Let's go to the 5. Indecisive candle. Let's go to the 15. Top wicks. Indecisive on the NASDAQ. Let's go to the 30. Green top wicks. 3 minute chart right here. This feels like it's the calm before the storm, like this thing's about to rocket. Yeah. So those are the buy orders and sell orders. The bigger the ball, the bigger the sell order, buy order. It looks like higher. This action looks like higher. Y'all are crazy. You have to realize these are dollar candles. Look at that. 419 to 420. These are dollar candles that we're chopping in between. Look, all right, break higher. There we go. They put on another level at 42.10. Look at that. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It says grinding, grinding up against it like a grinder on a piece of metal. The longer it stays here without, like with this upward pressure, it's not sideways. This is upward pressure. It's not coming down. It's just going to go and pop right back to probably session highs. There we go. Bam. Rocket. That level's gone. 42.10. They're just eating up everything. They're just eating up everything. There it goes. Bam. If we get a move off of this level, we'll go to 42.28, which is another, what, 15 points? Big move. Look at that. There it is. First time I walked my stop up, worked out well. Nice. Well done. Little top wick red right there. Very choppy stuff here. We got the slow little choppy range right there. This is what I got forming right here. Short-term range, little short-term range. Right up the middle. When you say they in reference to those levels in Bookmap, it's just they, Ether. Whoever's putting all those orders. The dudes in the black suits just sitting there going, I'm going to put this at 42.50. So they are really strengthening this 42.30 area. Looks like they're going to pop block and drop us again. Maybe they're going to bring us to 42.30. Lizard people control the markets. Love it. At this rate, we might finish the day with a new high. Right now it looks like they want to pull us to 42.30 on ES. We'll see. We'll see. It's not moving quick, that's for sure. We're just kind of grinding. Man, I guess I should have taken that mid 140s bounce, huh? On Boeing. Yeah. $153.56. All right, nice little rejection there. I am inclined to agree with you, Ziggy. What's up, Floyd's Garage? How you doing? What made you think upwards there with all the massive top wicks? I was just ready to exit my calls based on but it stayed in based on your conviction. Was it mostly because no, it wasn't Bookmap. It was when I see this type of action. Now there's a difference. Let's separate this. I'm going to delete. Okay. All right. If I see this type of grind, you know what? Give me a square. I got to use shapes for this. When I see this type of grind, there. I don't know if you're looking at the YouTube or not. This is indecisive. It's up, down, up, down. You don't really know which way it's going to break. But when I see this type, where it starts grinding higher, just a little kind of grinding up the top of the edge, it does. Every red is bought green. It doesn't want to fall at all. Yes, it is top wicking, but the price action trend is still up. And when I see this type of action, not this, but this, when I start to see this form, it's kind of grind up against that resistance, stay there, and then finally one buy order is going to go bleep and pop it up. And that's what happened. Now this stuff, you can't really tell because it's up and down. But once it starts doing this grind up. Now, if you see a lot of these type of candles where there's a huge long upper shadow, that's different. But these candles do have top wicks, but there's still a lot of breadth to these bodies. And it kept on going higher and higher and higher and higher. And then finally it blasted. And that's just part of that reading candles, learning how to read some candles and price action. What's up, Gunga? How you doing? Gunga Kalunga. Does that say a bullish peanut? Is that what you said? A lot of Caddyshack reference, yeah. Red candles wicked, Still, the trend is still up. Do you win more on puts than you do on calls? It's about 50-50. My win rate. I've been focusing more on my daily win rate than my transactional because I think that's far more important. I still use the transactional to go identify a problem. But yeah. So there, UK market is closed. We don't have too much moving. We came up through here from from 419 to 420, and we're kind of just hanging out. But little red's being bought right back inside this little short-term trend. Still moving higher. Still moving higher. I had an 80% win rate trading futures over 6 weeks and was just barely profitable. One bad loss can lose a ton of work. That's right. There you go. You're exactly right. I think the transactional win rate is too much, giving too much credit. Man, it's still going higher. Look at that, just grinding. Trend up day. Definitely trending up, or trend up afternoon, or late morning. But still going higher. Keep playing the trend. A lot of earnings after hours today. The biggest one will be Facebook. I mean, technically, yes. I mean, it's definitely, I'm talking about the short-term trend, not the overall daily. Right now, I mean, we're grinding higher and higher and higher until we reach a certain point, which it appears to be 42.28. We'll see if we reverse, but right now it's still grinding up towards that action, which is approximately R4. I'm not sure if we're going to sell off this afternoon. Tomorrow, I would probably say there's a good probability we'll see red action into close tomorrow. I'm going to mute for a few minutes. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. little bit of red there. Not much. All right. How do you hedge on options when you assume downtrend then it moves uptrend? Man, right when I come back, it wicks up. Hold on, let me step away for a second. Just kidding. How do you hedge on options when you assume downtrend when it moves uptrend? I've been doing this for about 25-30%, but I'm before to do. So are you saying, like, how do you, if you put on puts expecting downtrend and the market goes up, is that what you're saying? Yeah, PayPal got destroyed. They're down at 82 bucks. So they peaked at 310, 312, and now they're $83. Wow. Now that is downward move. I did. I did know that. Got some red creeping on down. All right, so we're just holding right here. I'll give this a few more minutes here, and I will just call that a morning. Yeah, currently bookmap. Let's take a look. Would you take a MACD crossover? There's been 3 today, and all of them would have been profitable. I don't follow the MACD anymore. I'm not saying I used to. I'm not saying it's terrible, but Hey, some nice red coming off R2, coming down through R1. Let's see if we can have a continuation move down, though. That's a decent amount of weakness. NASDAQ is kind of pinging lows there. VIX is sideways through 31. All right, coming down through R1, looking decent, looking decent. Let's see if we can break down trends and start making a move. Finally broke out of that trend, turning down. And right off R1. Creeping down, creeping down. Is TLT an inverse of SPY? I wouldn't call it an inverse of SPY, but you definitely want to be aware of the movement in the bond market. It's a very crucial indicator of the health in the market. Um, I would, like I said, I don't want to get into the inverse, and like I don't want to talk about that because that's not something that's entirely accurate. Sometimes, yeah, it works that way, but you want to be very careful. Nope, I'm still here. All right, so we're right back to this R1 level, kind of popped above. Now we're right here. Anything new on the book map? Let's see. 4,200 is the light level. We've got 4,230. That's still the sniffing here. Let's do a screenshot here. Right there. You got to type fast when you're doing this. Got to type fast. All right, well, it's 11 o'clock my time, 12 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to go ahead and call that a morning. I think it's a pretty successful go at this. A couple of good trades, still holding Facebook. Nothing else. We've got holding R1 still seems to be a key levels of the day. And we're looking for some action from here. I'll still be hanging out, still be watching the market, still be in the Discord. Let me know if you got any questions. If you're on the YouTube and new to the channel, please, by all means, hit me up. If you got any questions, come out and join us in the server. Shoot me an email, OptionsMillionaire2020@gmail.com if you want to ask questions, or just shoot me a DM in the server. I'll be here the rest of the afternoon. Be preparing for Facebook earnings coming out tonight, in addition to Apple and Amazon tomorrow. So thanks for hanging out. It's been great conversation, great times. I will see you all this afternoon in the Discord or bright and early on Friday on the YouTube. Y'all take it easy. I'm out.